This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk about a unique approach to lead generation on Facebook. In studio with us today is Andrea Garza, a pioneer in the done-for-you social media lead generation service, which is designed to help businesses connect with high-quality leads through a strategic, hands-off approach to social media engagement. Andrea, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And you said you were going to bring wine, but you did not.
I know. So I let y'all down.
Also in studio with us is Thomas Villareal with Lonestar Construction Industries. Thomas has firsthand experience with the DIY approach to this type of social media lead generation service as well. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into, because you're more of a recipient of it, and then you're kind of like, hey, this is a good service, and you're building out from there. So I like that. So good job on finding folks to come into the show, by the way. She was under a little bit of pressure. It's like, who you got coming in? It's just somebody was in, then they canceled, and it changed, and you're doing all this.
I talked to him on Friday.
Did you?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Actually, on Friday, we officially met in person. And so we just talked. And I was like, by the way, how is this working out for you? Do you want to come on Monday?
All right, and we have Jon Ambach with Bright Choice Exterior Cleaning. Jon also has firsthand experience with the DIY approach to this type of social media lead generation service. Jon, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Marc. Appreciate it.
Excited to be here, Jon?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the platform for small businesses. So
yeah, me too.
It's awesome.
Yeah, have you been to one of the mega mixers we've had yet?
I've seen them, and Andrea's invited me, I think, twice now. It hasn't lined up, but I plan on going.
Yeah, it's
March.
It's all about
March.
entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
You're going.
All right, I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Krukus Virtual Staffing, a company that recruits and staffs experienced overseas administrative assistants for insurance agents and attorneys. If you're curious about the most common tasks that VAs are doing for their businesses, head over to our website at krukus.com and grab a list of the top 20 tasks that VAs are doing for businesses like yours. Link is in the podcast description. All right, so Thomas, let's start with you. So how did you get exposed to this type of lead generation?
So actually, I got exposed through Andrea, to be honest with you. At the time, I was looking for some services I needed for one of my investment homes, and I put a post out on Facebook, and I was looking for air duct cleaning services because one of my rental homes needed it. And everybody just tagged Andrea. Everybody was like, Andrea. I had over 40 posts for Andrea. Oh. So I was like, okay, well, who's this Andrea lady? So sure enough, I clicked on her profile, and I was like, okay, she's a legit business. She has a lot of friends because, you got to be careful on social media as well. But I was able to realize that she is a legit company. And I sent her a direct message, and I told her the services I was looking for at that time, and she was able to get me booked and scheduled in that day, which was awesome. And I got that service taken care of, and my tenants were happy. So it was easy connection, to get a hold of her, and everybody has their phones on her. So I got that response as quickly as I possibly could, and we got the job done.
Now, you mentioned that you clicked on her personal profile. What were you looking for?
I was looking to see really if her company name, then I did some research on her company name to make sure it was a legit business. Then clicking on her profile, looking at when her profile was established, how long she had it, the amount of friends that she had, which all gave me, good clues that she's, a real person with a legit business. And that made me feel comfortable at the time. Because you got to be very careful in this type of industry that we're all in. I'm sure we've all had some bad experiences with clients, and so it felt good to be able to realize she was a legit company.
Yeah, so that's the careful component, right? Because if you're gonna bring somebody into your world, you want them to be legit.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I mean, that makes sense. So, Andrea, when folks go over to your personal profile, because that's what we're talking about, right? You clicked on her personal profile, not a business profile.
Correct.
And you went over there. Andrea, what are they finding when they get to your personal profile? How do you have it structured in a way that represents you and your business in a legit way?
Well, I have to make sure that it's professional, it's clean, and personally, I stay away from divisive topics. I have to be careful with the content that I post. So I had to shift my mindset, and realize that now my Facebook profile was being used as a marketing tool. It's not anymore a social platform where you're scrolling mindlessly. So that when I shifted that mindset, I was like, okay, that's the type of content that I need to bring, on my profile. And exactly what Villareal said, that you gotta make sure that people feel comfortable, and that they realize that you're a local business owner, that you live here, that it's real, that it's a real profile.
Where was the tags? Where did you put this request at?
I believe it was the San Antonio contracting page, where a lot of companies go in there and post their work. A lot of people refer other companies out there, or other individuals as well, who might be looking for work or just have legit businesses for those specific services that you're needing. And that's where I posted, and that's when everyone tagged Andrea.
So you'd done some work getting yourself established in that particular, is it a group?
It's a group, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's right.
You did how long have you been in that group?
Probably about a year.
Okay.
Probably about a year. But yes, so over the span of a year, that's been my homework, right? Investigating local groups, because that's just one of many groups. I have a list of at least 100 groups, within neighborhood groups, mom groups, local business groups. So you want to be able to penetrate those groups.
So if somebody is, going to be one of your clients where you're going to be working for them in a done-for-you type of service, and they're, say, in the type of business you're in again, what was it, Thomas?
We primarily focus on asphalt and concrete. We also do a lot of seal coat striping and land clearing.
Okay, so if somebody was in that type of business and they wanted to be a client of yours, what would be some of the steps that you would do to start getting them established?
Well, first of all, we would need to get a hold of his personal account, just to make sure that it's clean, that people are going to feel comfortable. And once we have access to his account, we would manage the responses for the tags from his profile. We would also optimize his content. This means that we would add his profile into all of these hundreds of Facebook groups.
Hundreds of Facebook groups?
Well, 100, at least 100.
At least 100
for sure.
Facebook groups.
Yes, we have a pretty big list.
Okay.
And just make sure we're engaging with those posts that are requesting those services. That's how you optimize.
So that's a lot of work that goes in like you popped in as somebody who's looking for
Correct.
a service, and then all of this stuff happens, right? All these recommendations. This is the work behind it so that you can get that kind of exposure.
Yes, sir.
So are you using any kind of strategy in this respect on your own yet to generate business for yourself?
Yes, sir. Basically, almost the same way I found Andrea. A lot of other companies or individuals will also tag myself or my business, and I've gotten pretty good amount of leads through there as well, and I will also expose my business out there as well through these same groups. I'd make certain posts advertising my business and what we do.
How many hours a day are you spending on this activity?
At least 5, maybe.
You're spending 5 hours a day on Facebook doing this kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's a good utilization of your time?
Absolutely.
But would it be better if it was, say, $6 or $7 an hour?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like it's really not the highest and best use of your time, I guess, is what I'm thinking. It's like if you can
Correct.
get the same thing done in a done-for-you service that's going to take hours and hours to do that, and not only that, but you have to have a strategy behind it. That seems to be, and it's a done-for-you strategy. So they already know the things to do and not do in order to get that kind of response.
Correct.
Does that sound like that would be something good for you to invest in as a business?
Absolutely. I think it would definitely help bring a lot more leads in.
Yeah, I agree too. All right. Andrea, anything else you want to add to Thomas's journey?
Well, the only thing is, all of us are doing that right now. We hop on social media, Facebook, and yes, throughout the day, I don't even know how many hours, right? We're on and off, on and off. Mm-hmm. But if we had someone dedicated, right, 7-8 hours just looking for those real-time posts, because that also comes into play. That's also very important. When someone requests a service, you want to make sure you hop on that as fast as possible. You follow up. You follow those steps, right, to try to gain that business. But of course, if you're busy like us out in the field, or you're in a meeting, or you're with a client, you're not going to be able to do that as fast. So having someone dedicated specifically for that, it's super beneficial.
Yeah, almost priceless, but not quite, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jon. So how did you get exposed to this type of service?
Well, my first exposure was probably last year. We landed a $9,000 job from the San Antonio Contractors Group. So there was a large, well-known foundation company here in town. They did a giant lift on a commercial building, and they needed someone to go and clean up around it. So, washing the entire building, all the flat work, the concrete. And actually, one of my competitors landed the job. He saw it first, and then he brought me in to help. So we split like a $9,000 ticket, and it needed to get done within a few days. So that was my first real exposure to it. And then more recently, Andrea and I are in the same organization called Blue Collar Connect, and there's more of a structured type of like social media engagement strategy there.
Like a team effort, right?
Right. And that's really where I saw like the power behind it, like the different groups. I was insecure about joining like other neighborhood groups and stuff like that, because there's some gray areas about the groups you should and shouldn't join, whether you live in the neighborhood or not, how often you should promote yourself. But just seeing the structured part of it, I think, was really beneficial. That was my first exposure to it.
Yeah. Andrea, when you're deciding what groups to join, that is a legitimate concern, because you're like, I don't know if I don't want to join a group where I'm getting solicited out of Taiwan or Italy or something. It's like, and there's lots of spam that comes in there. So you said that you've identified groups that are good groups for folks, at least here in the San Antonio area, to join. What was the process there of you guys figuring that out?
It was a long process. It's still ongoing. Sometimes I still sit there and just search, because sometimes the names for the groups are very weird. You would never think of that, and they're very popular. They're very valuable. So you're just sitting down, and right now, the Facebook algorithm just changed again, where if you join a group, it'll give you suggestions for other groups. And remember, you can also check the activity of that group. You just pop it open and see, how many posts, how many members are in each group. So that's also valuable information, because you might not want to join a group that only has one post every month. For what? And sometimes you also you join a group and you quickly realize that there's no engagement, that it's just people like maybe advertising
engagement,
right? Or is the wrong So.
And that really is like something that your team would spend time doing, is joining new groups and figuring out, is this a good group? Is it spammy? What's the deal here? Because that's super valuable knowledge.
Right.
Also,
That's right.
in the same light, on the opposite side, like if you join a good group, like a large group with maybe 50,000 people in it, there might be 100 or 200 posts a day. Facebook's not, even if you're in the group, Facebook's not going to show you all of those posts. So unless you're manually going in there and like searching, like we do exterior cleaning and holiday lighting. So unless I go in there and I manually search like window cleaning, pressure wash, like key terms, I might not even see the post, and then by then it's too late. So if you have someone monitoring it and searching your business keywords in those groups, hopefully you get to see that post first or pretty quickly, and then you can start the tagging process or whatnot.
You all seeing that this is a full-time gig, right? It's like something that if you could really extract a maximum benefit out of that by looking at it and having it done full-time, actively, in a team, in a team strategy would be hugely beneficial. This is why I was so excited when Andrea and I were talking about it. The problem is it's the amount of time that it takes to actually do it. Do you want to run your business, or do you want to be doing the social media work, which is seriously, you should not be paying any more than $7 or $8 an hour for social media work. So, so what about response? What about ROI with respect to the time that you're putting into this? Because it's still DIY for you.
Yep.
You're putting in time. Are you getting the benefit out of it?
Yeah. So I think that I'm a cool case study because since my new brand just launched in October, like I have actual stats on like the impact of something like this. So from October, we launched October 2nd, even though I've been in business 4 years, the new brand did. So it's been 10 weeks, call it. We've had 575 people directly type in our website. We've had 300 people directly from organic social and 200 people from typing us in Google directly. So not all of that is contributed to the groups, but a large portion of that is where people see us being tagged or they see us, and either they click on our profile and click on our URL or they go to Google and type in our name. Mm-hmm. So we generated probably between 150 and 250 leads, meaning someone messaged me directly, like my personal profile, which I didn't personally like, or they filled out our form or they called our office. And those were from like social media. And now we did a lot of organic social media posts. We did some social media ads, which, by the way, paid social media ads performed way worse than this did. I don't know. We didn't. Maybe we generated one lead from paid social media ads. Like this year did really bad. I think part of that was from the election and how much money was being spent digitally on the election. But even like some of the bigger companies in the industry that I personally know, they had a rough time. Whereas like this, we generated a $4,000 lead from Nextdoor, and we were only tagged twice in 2 posts on Nextdoor. We generated a $4,000 lead, and that's a 3-year contract. So that's really $16,000 over 3 years. And then our social media leads, we generated $16,000 worth of leads. Again, those are 3-year contracts. So whatever the math is there, I think it's like around 40,000. Yeah. Yeah. So over 3 years. And again, it's not 100% to the groups, but it's kind of a combination of all the stuff we have going on through social media. And the groups was definitely like one of the highest like factors in our social media, like campaign, I guess, or strategy. So it's like real results. And my first 2 years in business, I didn't post at all on Facebook. I was like a little embarrassed. I was like, this isn't for business. But once you start making money from it, your mindset changes. Like it's not like my personal Facebook page anymore. It's like another lead source and like a marketing channel. But I'm just the face of it.
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you posting on your personal page?
I post a variety. So probably 50% business, 50% personal. I never post anything political. I never post anything about stuff that people feel strongly about because I'm not there to change anyone's mind politically or whatever. I'm there to make money. So, I post my kids, my wife. If I go on a hunting trip, I'll post some photos of that. And then I share my business stuff. I'll share this on there. I'll share my new branding. I'll share, posts from my business. Like
you share other businesses as well.
Right. Yep.
Other business posts.
People I network with, share them with my audience, and they do the same. So,
anything else he should be posting?
No, I think that's great. Again, you just want to make sure you're keeping a clean profile and just keep it real. Some people want to post some personal things, like you said, like trips or family. Some people don't. They simply just use Facebook strategically and specifically for business, and that's it.
I think if people see you as a human being, a well-rounded human being that's not divisive, then you should be fine, right? Anything with respect to this type of strategy that you don't like?
Yeah, I would say if you have a very niche or like service, like very specific type of service, it might not be as beneficial. So I'll give you an example. If someone asks for window cleaning, it's either interior or exterior window cleaning, and that's pretty much it. Residential or commercial. Like there aren't a lot of variables. Whereas like for the holiday lighting side of things, there's a wide spectrum of individuals. So you have people who maybe just want a handyman to go hang up their own lights and they want to pay $100. And then, we had a customer spend $20,000 with us this year, and we hung up thousands of lights for them. They're on multiple acres, and they just want it all done for them. They don't want to worry about anything. So we're more on this side. We're a premium service provider. We're full service. We take care of everything for you, from design to maintenance to takedowns to storage. So in that sense, we had to process a lot of leads and have a lot of conversations to find who our ideal customers
That means your process isn't tight. You
So
just need to tighten
a
your
lot of
process.
education.
No, you can do that through a web page.
Well, no, we have a website. We're sending.
This is how these are
Yeah.
the people that we service, and this is our ideal client, right?
Right.
I mean, this is bottom price, and up kind of a thing. That'll weed out a lot of those folks before you ever have a conversation.
Well, we do that, but with the Facebook groups, the problem is if you have other people promoting you, they're not going to tell this. They're not going to tell your story properly. So they're still coming to us to say like, hey, can you if I'm the one posting, or if I'm being tagged, they're going to message me direct. So then I have to send them to my website. You know what I mean?
That's actually
so it's kind of the funnel.
Another reason why the done for you service would be better, because
Right.
you
It's
can
not going
start-
through me.
So your negative is actually a positive for what you're doing, because it's like, hey, you don't have to worry about this aspect of it. We'll weed that down because we funnel them through this particular channel.
Right.
Right. But sometimes the requests on the post are very general. For someone that might post looking for for Christmas lighting installer, they're not they're not specifically saying, do they want a handyman? Am I providing my lights, or I want everything done? So that's kind of challenging, but it's part of the process.
Wouldn't that just be like a quick question that maybe somebody handling that initial? But you're saying that the client
Perhaps.
will handle that part of it. Our job, or your job, is to get that information so that the client can then follow up.
Yeah, I mean, our job is just to tag the business, because there's a lot of variables to businesses. And I mean, we're not going to become experts in every single industry, like with concrete. I don't know anything about concrete. I mean, do you do new foundation? Do you, I don't know. So
Who does your clarification process on, or who's weeding out your lead generation?
So it depends on where they go. So if they go to our website, we have a form on there. It has questions like, what are you looking for? Like contact information. What are you looking for? This is our minimum. What's your price range? So that's what we have for holiday lighting. Our call center also has like similar questions with our minimum. The problem is if it's going through Facebook Messenger, it doesn't have that. So you have to push them to. So for you, Andrea, I think what would be good is like if you had each business could have some sort of follow-up script or messaging where if like you get message direct, or if we get message direct, y'all respond with
on the
like,
messenger,
Like
right,
automation.
right. Or yeah, maybe it's an AI
you can set
automation.
them up.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would narrow things down. and
Right.
help out tremendously.
Because speed is
That's
key
true.
too, that I found with this.
Right.
Like the groups is like if I take a day to respond, which
It's
when I'm
probably
super
gone.
busy, I might take a day to
Yeah.
respond. They're either going to pull down the post because they get too many responses, or they'll find somebody. So like having something like this, if it's like
Right.
quick on it,
That's true.
hands off, then it's like
It could be an option
Instant
too. So
message.
if you want to have this, then we just got to solve that particular problem for another show. All right. Well, thanks guys for coming in and talking about it. I think it's a big deal. The organic lead generation and Facebook groups is hot. And to your point, the Facebook ads don't necessarily work as well as they used to, and they can be a bit frustrating as well, at least in my experience. So I don't use them. I prefer the engagement side of it. Any closing thoughts, Andrea?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Good. All right. Well, thanks, fellas. I appreciate you guys coming in. As we wrap up the show, quick reminder, check out our latest podcast and catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for this one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.